let's get this party started. Welcome back to the dOrg Hot Seat, the podcast where we take the most interesting and forward-thinking projects building the decentralized future, and we put them in the hot seat. I'm your host, Paul Lansky from dOrg, a Web3 development cooperative delivering development, governance, mechanism design services, and we've helped our clients reach over 4 billion in total value locked, and we operate fully as a DAO, just like today's guests. At dOrg, we offer several collaboration models, like milestone-based collaborations, team extensions, protocol partnerships, contract to hire, and of course, any custom solution that you might have, no matter how highly specific it is. So today we have Beast DAO, who is another builder cooperative DAO, the competition, that has quite the mission statement: to be as productive as consensus and as useful as Gnosis, but organized as a member-owned cooperative. From Beast DAO, we have Julia, the Ops Committee and Project Lead, and Valentin, the Tech Committee Lead. So, hello guys. Let's get this party started.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, everyone. You describe yourselves as aiming to be as powerful as A16Z and as productive as consensus. Now, what does this mean for your day-to-day operations at a DAO? Start with this.
Okay, it's kind of, there's kind of a story behind that. I'm not sure if I should go into the details. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I will try to do it maybe super quickly. First of all, a bit backgrounds. So basically where the idea of Beast DAO, cooperative DAO, came from. Initially, back then in 2022, then we had major issues in the space. I should remember maybe people who already for a while there that we had Luna collapse, we had FTX collapse, we had DCG collapse, we had Free Arrow Capital collapse, and many big players who were basically driving the ecosystem and building multiple new projects and so on and so forth. They were all together going down, and not alone, but also affecting hundreds and thousands of people who were builders in the space, who were aiming to do something, who were working hard, and who were really having dreams and wanted to achieve something. And it all collapsed altogether, unfortunately. And many people, got lost a little bit, and they were thinking okay, they cannot proceed anyhow further. And we thought that we want to start some kind of an experiment that will take the best things out of the best. This is where that kind of three things came, that we want to be as productive, as a consensus, as useful as Gnosis, and so on and so forth. So this is where it came from, that we were thinking, okay, what is the best in the space that we can take, and what we can do different to make sure that we can, take this best and even make it better. So this was kind of the small story behind that experiment, where we thought, okay, we will really try to consensus. They are building a lot of things in the space from the early time, early days of Ethereum. That's why we thought, okay, it's super important thing that we want to make sure that we provide alternative way for people to be able to build what they believe should be built in the space and in the Ethereum ecosystem also specifically. And this is part related to consensus, and this is part related to what we are aiming for, basically provide some way for people to come together and be able to jointly work together on projects they care about. And the second part was okay, for example, Gnosis, they're also out there. It's just maybe from also kind of a bit personal connection of many of us who came initially together as a founding team, who were already involved in the Ethereum ecosystem. That's why we kind of oriented on different kind of companies from that ecosystem specifically. And Gnosis was one of that kind of small, not that much seen player back then, but who was really doing useful stuff. They were like concentrated on building useful things that are useful tools for the ecosystem. And this is like where we thought, okay, we also want to kind of want to be concentrated on building that kind of useful, impactful things in the ecosystem. And like, like that sentence is kind of the vision formation, in what direction we want to go. And it was also a bit oriented on people who are already in the space and know a little bit about who are these players. And initially we wanted to start not with that much with, like newcomers, but with people who are already in the space, but just provide them this alternative way without any company builders, without any VCs, without any ecosystem funds, to be able to build different impactful projects. And we ended up like forming it even better through that almost 3 years we exist. Nowadays we concentrate specifically on infrastructure and public goods tools for Ethereum ecosystem specifically. And this is kind of that kind of story background where all this information came from that we have on our website till nowadays, because it really reflects a lot of values and vision part for where we're aiming to. But a decentralized cooperative is also important part, because we wanted to combine best things out of DAOs that are basically enabled by blockchain and best things out of cooperatives.
We're going to touch the DAO side. That's definitely like one of the interesting parts. But I want to, you basically highlighted from Consensus and from Gnosis the fact that they build a lot of tooling, a lot of things that they needed in the space from the beginning, and they spun it off like MetaMask, like in Fiora. I came from Consensus, and like. The whole Consensus Mafia, many other protocols like Oval Protocol, they also came from many people that started at Consensus at the beginning. They gave grants, they had so many things. And then Gnosis did the exact same thing, the Gnosis Guild, then the Safe, then prediction markets. It's what actually started, like the ICO was about this. And they did all this, because they had massive amounts of money. How do you do that? How are you bootstrapped? How do you pay your developers in order to work on what they consider is the most important for the ecosystem?
This is our secret sauce. I will not go in all the details here, but there is like two important things. So as for like having a lot of money to do something, this is one of the ways, basically, I would say it quickly and shortly, how things can work. There is also other alternative ways. This is what we're trying to prove with our concept and did it already. Talking about money, of course, we do not have that kind of funding as Consensus had or even Gnosis had or still having. Of course, we have some kind of players or supporters from the industry who interested in what we are doing and support us for different ways, not always with money, sometimes with some money, and this is kind of what we're having today. The second thing is, as I said, it's not always all about money, and this is a super important thing. This is where that part of cooperative DAO came into the play, where we started initially. At the very beginning, we had zero budget at all for anything.
Can I add one thing? Yeah. So you can look at Linux part of open source software, and you can see how it's flourishing right now. So I mean, you have thousands of distros, thousands of different parts and things, and all this is not made because of some profits or even money. Yeah. So people just want to contribute, just to spend their free time, their skills on something what they feel is needed. And it was not always this way. I think so. It's from my view. I'm pretty long in open source thing, but it started booming last 5 years. I mean, if you are looking for most beautiful to-do list, you will not find it in App Store or in Google Market. but you will find it is KDE or GNU package. So it's simplest, most beautiful, even from design point of view, to-do list. So I mean, perception is changing, yeah. So I mean, maybe the whole our society starting realize something, or maybe people who build some skill set realized what we want to contribute to something new or make things right how we want it to be, yeah. And the same tendency I think we see in crypto industry. A lot of people trying to pursue the important things. So, okay, there is tokens, okay, there is money, okay, there is speculation, but what we can do right, what we can do better. And it's a big motivator right now for many people.
So summing this up, thank you for this great connection with open source industry. So summing this up, I wanted to say also that kind of cooperative part that we not just accidentally have in our name and everywhere, like what we where we're speaking about what is Beast. This is the approach that we chose back then, that we want to apply like the way cooperatives work, and see if it will help us basically to do something, just because people think that they won't do this and they are ready to do this themselves and do this. So basically, as I said, like at the very beginning, we had zero budget and we all started like 5 founding members who are at the very beginning together from different committees and different like backgrounds to cover all that important, like skill set that is needed to create something. They just came together and never get paid, but they did what they did because they believed that they want to do this. And important part was not to find a way how to pay them, but how to make sure that everything what they created will be sustainable and will be existing long term. And this is where we actually kind of need already resources and that kind of thing. But also with some limited resources, you can be much more creative and thinking even better, because you will constantly think, okay, for example, I need to have less, like recurring costs. Because I cannot be sure that I will all the time have a lot of funds coming. That's why I need to make sure that I have like almost near to zero costs all the time and make all the decisions considering that kind of approach. And kind of, even without big funds, it's possible to start something that might be like doing a great impact.
Absolutely, no, for sure. What you mentioned that first project that brought us all together. What was this first project?
So, okay, first project itself, it was kind of a beast to make sure like that the concept works and that experiment will be kind of successful. Yeah, so that was first of all like kind of proof of concept that the whole idea will work out and will enable us to create something. And that initial group of people who came together, we decided that we will build different we call that Web3 tools for humanity, different kind of useful tools that could be pretty small, but that will be helping us, first of all, and also the rest in the space, other DAOs or maybe other initiatives and groups of people who want to do something together to be able to do this, utilizing some advantages that blockchain can give them. And we started to create basically 0x name that is known today as a 0x name, but it was called back then POM, because it was like shortage from proof of membership. So initially we were thinking more about like communities, not about people, and we're thinking that we will create that kind of tool that will help communities to have their members on chain with that on chain names that will be pretty specific to specific communities, that will be helping them to vote, to have token gate access and that kind of things. But it evolved in a way that we saw that, considering the market conditions, players are also developing and changing a little bit, and we found out that not that much communities are were active after some crashes. So we thought, okay, we will concentrate more on people and we kind of evolved that initial product that we started to work on into a bit different one, but still with the same like technology background and like that important elements of it. And we launched it as dOrg this year at the very beginning of this year. So, and nowadays it's just like a free public good platform for anyone to get their free dOrg names, like free online on-chain names, not online, on-chain names. And these names are also like really highly personalizable because they have different top-level names with which they can be associated, and these top-level names could be standing for like different communities, projects, just general things like Ethereum or ETH, or like even events and different kind of things. So you kind of having that kind of name that you need either for specific community or just in general for your interaction or digital identity in the space, and you just like having like your name at ETH, and this is it, like similarly to ENS, but totally for free and forever.
Exactly. So let's get technical about it. Like how does this work? Is it like a set of smart contracts like ENS? And what are the main differences? Why is it better than other alternatives like ENS or like Gnosis names as well, or Punk names as well? There's a few other systems.
So as for the technical side, Valentin will come to this.
So technically, under the hood, it's a set of smart contracts. Yeah, Solidity smart contracts. Nothing that we can do differently on Ethereum. Yeah, so there is smart contracts, and why it's better. I don't know if it's better. So I mean, it's a subjective thing. Yeah, I mean, someone like Twitter, other people call it X, but there is a people who like Mastodon prefer this, yeah. So and Fediverse thing, and we think that we made the naming service in a way we think is the right way. It's just our idea and our vision how we see this, and based on our perception and idea, we made dOrg name. What differentiate it from other naming services technically? It's fully on chain and it's resilient. So we have nothing to do with how to call IPFS, yeah, and other things. So we are not selling anything like links to off-chain services. Even our image is SVG that is lives on blockchain. It's pretty big, but we managed to put it there, and it's also customizable. So there are a lot of combinations, a lot of parameters that you can customize with colors, and everyone with custom top-level name. Like for example, my own top-level name and my name in it. I can customize it, set powers, unpause it, apply to be verified. In the future, it will be also possible. So functionality already exists, but we still haven't uploaded. It will be possible to monetize memberships. So like in Patreon or OnlyFans, whatever you like, you can join the top level name community and have some paid features. For example, I will be a gold member of this community, and because of paywall something, you can access to something. Yeah. So there are a lot of possibilities there. So resilient, fully on chain, made without proxies and blah blah blah. So it's simple, straightforward, and will function without Beast and everything. So the only thing you will need is the client to work with it.
A few more important things beyond that. First of all, it's, as I said, free because you do not need to pay any one-time fees or any recurring fees. Just the thing that you need to do is just like pay small amount of transaction fee as with any transaction with a blockchain, right? So this is not eliminatable, but it's something that needs to be done. But
Sorry
it's
to
also
interrupt you.
25%.
It's also not. It's also 25% lower fees than ENS name and others. So we worked hard on this, and so our initial version was comparable with other solutions on the market in terms of gas usage in order to issue name. But after that, we made some secret optimizations, and we are able now to swap all how to say peripheral contracts. I mean, storage. You cannot move storage. So I mean, if you have a name, you will have it forever. It's impossible to re-upload it without damaging protocol. But you can change token. We already made this, so we changed POM to 0x name. Everyone automatically got these tokens in wallet, so because we haven't reissued names. We just pushed events, and it was a cheat code on EVM. How basically for free reissue many tokens and make it appear in a wallet.
Actually, to think about it, it might be a super huge risk for some other protocols. They never thought about it. But yeah, as we found out, we can use it for advantages, but some others should definitely.
Yeah, and I think our architecture, so design how we did it is pretty different from how ENS made. And now then ENS decided to upgrade it to add some functionality like name extensions. Yeah, we have this. So you can subdomains. Yeah. In order to do this, you have to wrap old ENS version or something like that. So I mean, we did it how we did it. Yeah.
It was like time ago.
Sure, but going back to the fact that it's being free, not being free also can have advantages. Meaning, for example, you avoid spamming and capturing a wide range of names and what we like call domain squatting or name squatting. Do you have any protection against somebody just like registering thousands and thousands of names? Apart from that, of course, they would need to pay Ethereum gas fees. But that's a lot cheaper than paying also for some time or like ENS or something. What kind of protections are there against like squatters or bad actors that might try to steal those names?
Interesting question, yeah. And also Ethereum Foundation asked about this. First of all, we think that if we will strict on who can issue what, technically it will be censoring things. So I mean, if I don't like you, I can turn back your name, yeah, for example, and resell it, for example, yeah. So this concept is not about us. We made terms of service where we state that it's free protocol and you can do whatever you want. I mean, first come, first serve. If it's your name or not your name, so it's the same logic as in social networks, yeah? For example, I want to have email with like valentin@gmail.com, but it's impossible. And Gmail not acting like a judge or something like that, yeah? He's not empowered to decide who is Valentin and who is not. Who is actual one, yeah? But we have some mechanics in order to prevent top-level names squatting, because it may be connected to companies or some organization. We can pause them or not make them verified, yeah? So we can technically mark them as not trustworthy, yeah? And also, if you cannot transfer names, it's important for us because legislation in every country is different, and even small point about transferability of any kind of token on blockchain could be considered something bad. Yeah, we decided to make it non-transferable. But top-level names, totally transferable and not in form of token. So if you squatted, for example, Microsoft and Microsoft want it back, Microsoft can contact person, provide some kind of reimbursement maybe, yeah, and buy it. Why not?
I don't. Okay, so the protection is that you can have any name you want, but then at the top level, then is when there is some protections to avoid, as you say. Like for example, like I also participate in DApp Node, and DApp Node we provide open source software, and a lot of users contact us, and maybe they could contact this person, and this person is a scammer, and then they could steal a lot of money. So there's that type of protection is at the top level domain. Excellent.
There is one more thing, that basically there is functionality that a name that is non-transferable, issued as a non-transferable soulbound token, it could be deleted. So basically, for example, I got my name, Julia at Beast, or Julia at ETH. So I have an early adopter advantage and could have my name at ETH specifically without that kind of, different kind of thing there, right? So I have it. And if, for example, another Julia reach out to me and say, like, I will pay you $1 million and you give me Julia ETH name, it's technically possible to do this. I can delete my name, basically voluntarily myself, and remove it from the blockchain and destroy that token, and then it will be free again for grabbing. So then the person can come and grab it again. So basically we tried, as Valentin correctly said, to make the whole thing work as really decentralized, open service for everyone. That is not censoring, that is not trying to control anything, because we really wanted to create a public good that will be available for everyone, that would be not excluding anyone from usage, and that will be really 100% inclusive. So this is where different kind of solutions came from, why it should be costing nothing, why it should be available without any kind of control from our side, and so on and so forth. Yeah.
What other products have you brought, or maybe what other clients, what other work have you put out there from Beast DAO?
Valentin, will you share about the rest, or?
Yeah, as you told or you asked initially, being productive as consensus. Yeah, so we aiming to this goal. Yeah, so I mean. We have a lot of products or projects that's already almost finished or in alpha but never released yet. So we are speaking about our version of EVM, so it's mini EVM, so Ethereum Virtual Machine implementation in Rust. We want to make it very simple in order to provide transaction simulation functionality on hardware devices. So we are working on this. It's big but side project right now. Also, we have one project still in work, but also very important. We want to create advanced backend functionality for 0x name. We call it convenience layer. So it's pretty cool thing, because we want to cache all contract state on backend, provide this as a free API, make template for clients, so any community or any person will be able to create own thin client without any touching WAGMI, Vim, or even RPC provider. So everything will be handled through our backend API, and we also will minimize RPC calls, because we will have all data cached. So I'm pretty excited.
That kind of
about
things
this.
as outage of Infura that was recently because of AWS, that will be not affecting that much, but yeah, that's something that's
it's our
definitely shows that
secret
it's
project,
important. But yeah, you forgot to mention that is also out there. We have some other things. Okay.
Yeah, I started from projects that we're talking only internally, but never released yet. But so it's and now, I will tell shortly about product what we have. It's Fostered, and it's 100% Rust WebAssembly application. we like rethought idea of faucet, made it like small and with UX we think is better. So what the problem with current faucets? Yeah, uh, they require you a lot of things for anti-Sibyl things. Yeah, so to protect faucets from draining. Yeah, they either ask you for email like Google Faucet, or prepare some kind of pole mining. So great idea, but not works for everyone.
Or wallet
And
with some amount of ETH or something like that, like if
wallet
I
of some amount
auction
of
or something like that.
ETH to prove that you are not bot, but real person who has some amount of ETH on mainnet. And
Or some passports or
all,
something like that, that kind of different
yeah,
things.
passport is pretty smart idea, yeah, but also requiring some specific actions on chain, yeah. And we saw all these options and decided that maybe we can prove that someone is a real person and made activity on chain and made some faucet that will require just not pasting your address, but just writing some string like your GitHub account or something like that. And we decided, we have 0x name. Why not use it as an anti-Sibyl tool? So in order to ask our faucet for some amount of Cipolle ETH, you just type on any device. I mean, even if you have a wallet on your PC, but you're on the go, or you have no access to this address, you can just type your 0x name, press button, and thanks to Rust, it will be like in milliseconds, you will get your money. And yeah, so it's cool project. Also, yeah, we started as very simple project, but we added cool stuff like logs, so to be transparent with our community. I mean, you can see who tried what, who claimed when. I mean, any attempts and any errors, any bugs we have, you can see it in log section. So everything is there.
Final idea is basically to have this faucet like as a like universal dispenser that will be like using not only 0x names but maybe some other tokens, and will be giving out not only Cipolle ETH but also some other tokens like airdrop tool, something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, basically this is kind of
we had talks on ETHCC with Glow, yeah?
the flow.
Oh, Flow. Sorry, I'm always so bad with names and titles and definitions. I mean, yeah, it's a problem. Thanks. Okay, sorry, folks. So, I mean, the story was we were in cafe and talk about THCC stuff in Cannes this year, and they told us. So we talk about very cool feature they have with random number generator for blockchain. So it's cool. I mean, there is a big problem that you have no source of randomness on Ethereum, and you have to call oracles in order to get this data. But Flow has this thing, so we had a chat about this, and they told me, Valentin, if you want to try, you can just ask our faucet claim some assets. And I tried to do this, but honestly, it was manual process. So you type some data like your wallet address, your name, reason why you need this.
Google form, I guess,
Google
something
form.
like that. You need to scan the QR code and then fill out the Google form, and then the person will review it and they will manually send you something. I was like, okay.
So, yeah. And we like our idea of dispenser because it's pretty easy to make, not only for Cipolle, but accept other networks. Yeah.
Okay, we're getting to the end of this, and I always like to get one question that's more on the philosophical side, and I think we are very aligned on this. Like from dOrg perspective, we are also a builder community. What so What do you think the future of work looks like? Do you think it's going to be DAO based? Are we moving more towards a cooperative economy, less towards a cooperative economy? We're creating a double sided where people work on the capitalist economy and then contribute as a cooperator. How do you see the future of work as a practitioner of this DAO empowered cooperative world?
It depends on the time frame. What time frame are we talking about? Okay, it's open. Valentin, would you like to have a turn on that?
So, in my opinion, I think there's two scenarios. Yeah, either our capitalist society will go south, and then with crisis, people will have less amount of money, and we will try to find people like them to unite and to build some things together to split profits. Yeah, so DAO or co-op way here will be to survive. Yeah, just to have more chances to survive. Or if our society and capitalism not go south but developing well, then people will have more free time, and then DAO and cooperatives will be a bit different. People will organize in order to build cool stuff, interesting stuff, fun stuff, not only to earn money in more efficient way, to not split with investors and other people. So I think definitely co-ops and DAO are future, but development of capitalist society will determine in a good, so in which way it will be. Yeah.
So everything needs to burn down in order for something better to come back from the ashes.
Yeah.
Julia,
this is how the progress works. I mean, like, I'm sure that different forms of like joint cooperative work of people will definitely evolve. If we're talking about like less than 100 years perspective, I'm still thinking that it will be more niche thing, like, you know, a bit bigger open source movement that will evolve through also new technologies, and that will enable more broader collaboration of people, like really globally, because technology is making it possible nowadays. Yeah, that this will exist most probably in the nearest like few more tens of years, definitely as a small niche, but getting bigger and bigger for sure. I look at this a little bit from different perspective, from people's perspective. I like really feel frustration of many people nowadays, that they like really just unhappy with how they live, you know, like they really feel that everything what they do, they're not doing for themselves, and it gets taken from them, and they are not getting in return that much as they deserve for that. And like, simply speaking, without any, you know, like big terms or something like that, I really noticed this just everywhere, and not only like online in different, like, you know, Reddit communities or other alternatives that we see, like also in that whole Fediverse evolving with different alternatives that are also providing like a new platform for a new kind of cooperation of people, where they really act decentralized in a decentralized way, and more freely. I see it even in like simple things with neighbors or like with coworkers everywhere. And this is why I really believe that from people's perspective, they will just internally feel that urge to find something more fulfilling for them. And this is where different kind of new work, so-called, it's a fancy word, but it's already not that new, basically, you know, like cooperative approach exists much longer before DAOs appeared, and before like many even hundreds of years, I guess, like that's already there.
Sure.
And like people will just try to use it to feel better, and it will grow eventually. Yeah, this is what I
What is
feel.
one thing that organizations like us that are experimenting with DAOs can, what is one learning, one challenge, one big challenge that you've had trying to organize as a DAO?
There are multiple of them. It's actually a good question. What is the big one? I guess maybe the biggest challenge is still to kind of make sure that people understand that when they like more in a decentralized way come together and want to join forces, that there will be no, like leader, or there will be no president, or I'm not sure, like CEO or anyone who will say, we will do that. And they need to be more, like proactive. They need to be more like initiative themselves. And this is something that I believe many people who even feel that they need something like that, they are not always ready to do. And many people, they are just not like into like taking a bit more responsibility, and it's totally fine and totally understandable. But for that kind of like new work approach and new working structures where people are coming like in a cooperative way, it's a bit more consciousness and initiative is required. And
Absolutely.
This is what should be built, I guess, and it should be built through experience and education and that kind of thing.
100%. I think Clara here in the public is probably nodding in agreement as one of our main sort of new roles, community organizers that have come. All of these, there's this new role of people trying to coordinate other people without leading, without being the CEO, just pushing to create processes that bring that generate some stigmergy, to generate the right momentum for other projects to come and be led by the different members. So I think we have found a very similar experience, and this is a really good way of finishing today. So thank you so much, guys, for coming here and telling us about Beast DAO and the products that you've created, the public goods, your philosophy behind how you choose to create the products that you choose to work on, and also how you organize yourself as a DAO and why, and what are the challenges of doing so. Thank you very much. Is there any last words anywhere where people should contact you? How can they find you? How can they find the tools that you create?
I would say that the easiest way to contact us is via our Discord. It's everywhere on our website, beastdao.org. It's also on the website of dOrg's name, Faucet Free, I guess there is also Discord. This is the website of this faucet tool. So maybe one thing that I definitely want to share, because I'm that kind of new type of a leader, I would say. So in our cooperative, next month, in November, we will celebrate our anniversary, and we still haven't decided like the way how we want to do this year, but I would just propose to keep an eye on our social medias. We are pretty everywhere, and we will share information about like what we are going to have as a celebration, and maybe just join us. And this is a good way to learn about what we are doing, to talk to our active contributors who are currently active, and so on.
And we're also looking for illustrator.
Yeah, that's a
very good point. illustrators.
Yeah, we're always open for more active contributors to join us. And Valentin has a point. Yeah, we just yesterday discussed that we want to come up with a new logo, and he had a nice, amazing idea. And our beautiful illustrator, who was creating a Beast logo that we all love so much, she was like not that active after she got a small baby, another one, and she like is not involved that much, but she's so brilliant, and we were like talking, no one can replace maybe her, but we definitely would love to have someone who will help us to create a super nice logo for Xerox name, because we're now having kind of like just temporary one.
It's cool. We'll put those links in the show notes as well.
That would be great.
Illustrators, you have big shoes to fill, it seems, but I encourage you to apply as well. Thank you so much, guys. Have a very happy Beast DAO anniversary, and we'll see you in the Web3 world. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having us.